mother bought a house in North St. Louis, like real North St. Louis, and all my friends in the neighborhood would talk about uncles there, so I had imagined it being like a rough place until about 1990 when I actually came here, and I didn't realize that the Loop was almost a different city than the rest of U City, or like the north part of U City. When I first came here, was a little trashier, but not so trashy that you were scared of it. It was like a dive bar. It was comfortable, trashy. You didn't feel you'd break anything if you got too rowdy.
The Loop, it was just a place. It wasn't like it is now. It was just mom and pop stores and everything.
Growing up in South City, it was straight Hoosierville. And I kind of had hippie and biker parents, so I had all that stuff force-fed, the Keishi classics and everything. So when I started developing into alternative tastes in like art, literature, and music, I had no way to like share it with anyone because everybody was listening to like Skid Row and other crappy like cock rock bands. And then when I was brought here, it was this everything I could ever wanted. Use bookstores, use record stores all down the street. Artists were out playing guitar or dancing or doing street miming or poetry or whatever. So it was like this great like utopian kind of alternative scene up here.
Great opportunities for all kinds of lifestyles and cultures.
Oh, I thought it was a blast. It was a great place. I mean, there was lots of children and families, and like I say, you walked everywhere. I mean, it was like your friends were all over, you met them in school.
The ambience of what was old has been restored and kept pretty much intact in a lot of ways. The guy that built this area up, Joe Edwards, was not only just forward thinking, but he was very sensitive to what it was. And he grabbed some of that past and blended it all really well with what we've got now.
The whole Loop now is entertainment.
It's a cool place to visit. Come on out, support these businesses this year. Go see a show at the pageant. That's something that wasn't here when I was a kid. There's something down here for pretty much anybody.
Yeah, we'd hit some shops, hang out in Vintage for several hours, and we'd end up at the Wall, which was this entrance to a small park next to Fitz's. So eventually they tore that down. It's now like a flat outline of where the Wall once sat, right next to Fitz's.
Blueberry Hill most of the time because it's just got a lot of great atmosphere. It's got a lot of different rooms, and each room has its own atmosphere.
Go to the hookah bar. It's my favorite thing. It's really cool.
I probably, you know what I'm saying, go outside, go, like when I make some money, you know what I'm saying, go eat some pizza or something, yeah, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
You know, like we do go like to the movies or something, we do regular stuff too, you know what I mean? But you know what I'm saying, I just got a whole different lifestyle of living.
We went
rented a tux.
We went rented a tux.
That was a fabulous experience.
And then we went to Good Works, looking for some furniture. We go to Sunshine Daydream.
Pattaya.
Pattaya.
Cool. Oh, Ragorama. Yeah, Ragorama.
And it was a road show.
When I come to the Loop, I come to the pageant.
I used to really like the Del Mar. The DJs there played stuff I liked, and it's a nice laid-back bar, a little dark.
You like to go to Fitz's Root Beer?
There was a place that's not in the Loop anymore, but it started out there, and I was introduced to it when I was 9 years old. It's called Frank and Helen's Pizza. And they're delicious.
I've gone to Cicero's once in a while. I like their pizzas.
Froyo.
I'd go to the Varsity Theater on Saturdays, and there were two theaters fighting it out for your business, a block away from each other. I always went to the Varsity, but for 35 cents you got two full-length features. You got a Three Stooges short or an Abbott and Costello short, and about 5 cartoons, so you were there all day for 35 cents. Right next to the Varsity Theater was a place called Towel House, which basically was a chili and burger. I'd go get my lunch there. And again, I don't know why the magic number 35 cents keeps coming up, but that's all it costs for a hamburger and French fries.
I mean, the old Timberley was just crumbling theater, weird stains on the seats, plaster falling, but going there to see Rocky every weekend was great.
Jason and the Argonauts, I still love that movie. The Time Machine, where it gets to that big thing and it revolves around him. I came home from Sunday school and I stopped off to get a hamburger. They had the mustard and ketchup things in the plastic, the big plastic things. The counter girl was cleaning it off, and I'm just eating my hamburger, minding my own business, with my white shirt. And she was grabbing one of the bottles, and I think it fell out of her hands, and she went to grab it. And you know what happens when you grab something, you squeeze it. Well, she squeezed it right all over my shirt. I went home, and she kept apologizing, and I said, I'll just tell her what happened. Everything will be all right. I didn't care. I was a kid. What do I care if I got a mustard stain on my shirt? Dad didn't feel the same way, and wanted evidence that I didn't do it myself. So walked me back up to Sailor's drugstore. She wasn't there, and nobody else knew that was going on at the store, so nobody could back my story up, and I got grounded.
I think what sticks most in my mind whenever I drive up here, I always think about the corner of Blueberry Hill used to be where Cicero's was, and it was just this small little bar in the basement, and then the restaurant was upstairs. And one night, this band Barry Metal started a riot. It may bring more business, but I can't understand for the life of me of why a small U city in the middle of nothing that important needs a hotel in it. I mean, I guess if you're coming for a Wash U sports game.
I don't even think U City has hotels around anywhere. So I think it's a bold move, but I like the idea. The changes I like is that we've got a lot of energy going into this area again, in a whole different way. Back then it was more families and family oriented. Right now you're really looking for a younger crowd, and you get it down here. You still get the older crowd mixed in because these places are nice, and let's face it, some of the restaurants here are too expensive for young people.
Back then there wasn't these kind of shops and this music bars and all this stuff. You know, it was just mom and pop stores. We grew up, there was my friend Jeff Schneider, his grandfather had a little clothing store, and you had one grocery store down here named Schenberg's and everything that everybody went to, and you had a couple little delis and everything, in a kosher meat market.
Most of what you see up and down U City is either entertainment or food or restaurant places.
A lot of the stores here were small business owned, or if it was a chain, it was a very small chain. And the changes that have come, I mean, they've opened the door to all these chains here. And I think when I was hanging out here, the only chain here was a Foot Locker.
Still have a little diner over here. There was a diner here exactly in the same spot when I grew up and everything.
What I like about the Loop now is the diversity that it offers. You can go from Chinese to Lebanese to Mexican to Italian, you name it, up and down this block. The smells just waft in the air.